guys. Let's see how our audio sounds today. Give that a second to pop up. Oh. I'm going to try a slightly new setup today. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Okay, it sounds pretty good. Check, 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 check. Okay, it sounds pretty good. Oh, very important to not just get right into swinging. We're just going to do a few minutes of ball striking work today. Did a lot of high speed driver swings, speed training last night on the stream. Definitely want to keep doing some of that sporadically, but mostly going to be focusing on the ball striking. Hey, Sycamore's here. What's up, Sycamore? Nice to see you in here again. Tell you what, guys, these leaves are already starting to come down pretty quick. It's going to be fall before we know it. What we really got to do is find a way to get this nice and flat again in here. Hey, Jake is here. Played 9 yesterday, finished with a 45, still trying to break 90 and be in the 80s. Well, I believe in you, Jake. You can definitely accomplish that goal if you set your mind to it. And if you're shooting 45 for 9, then you're very close already. Just make a couple putts. Biggest thing I would tell you is avoid hitting it, in penalty areas, and avoid 3 putts, right? We're really trying to avoid double and triple bogeys. Those are the ones that really blow up your score. And just remember, it's okay to make a few bogeys. You're going to make a few bogeys. You might have to make some good bogeys, right? You'll hit a ball way into the trees, you find it, but then you got to chip it back to the fairway. Hit a good iron shot on the green, and then 2-putt for a bogey. If you play tournament golf, or even if you're just trying to improve, you're going to have to make some of those good bogeys once in a while. Oh. So what have we been working on, guys? We've really been working on keeping this spine angle intact, right? Not standing up and out of it through impact. Been doing a lot of these, paddle hand, right? Where you just kind of support this club with that right hand. But the release, the club is really being swung with the body. Right, and it's that left hand. Jake said, what's your favorite course to play? Good question, Jake. I think the coolest golf course I've ever played is Butler National. But I've been fortunate. I played a lot of the, top 20, top 30 courses in the country. There's a golf course called Vesper Country Club that'll always be special to me. Almost won a club championship there and played golf with a lot of really special people. in terms of the ones I haven't played, I think, you know, Pebble Beach has got to be number one, or maybe Augusta would be number one, and then Pebble number two. Hey, Tony said, nice tattoo. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate you being here. So again, we're just using this paddle hand on the back of the club. Really working on that rotation. As you can see, you can still generate a pretty good amount of speed just using your body, using that left hand. Duck feet will never give you a win. Dawn seems very concerned about my duck feet. I think they're just fine. Also, I think you're worried that they're like maybe too... I think it might be the camera angle potentially. Or you're worried that I'm standing like this? Because I'm not. I'm standing, you know, pretty neutral, right? You need some amount of... You know, I don't have the hip mobility that, you know, maybe would allow me to not keep some flaring in my feet. Sycamore said, look like it's time for a new mat. Yeah, we're definitely getting close to the end. It has definitely seen its fair share of use. It's also hot here today, guys. Hey, Liam's here. What's up, Liam? Welcome back to the stream. Really good drill to work on that early extension, try and keep this spine angle where it needs to be. Tenemos un problema. ¿Qué es el problema? Oh no, Liam ordered some new clubs and they were shipped to the wrong place. That is devastating. I cannot believe. Don, go to Feet Finder, buddy. Good shout, Jake. You know, it's somehow more intimidating to have one person, like, in real life watching you compared to, like, thousands of people on the internet. I say that to Emily sometimes. She'll be up there, like, working or something. I'll be like, you gotta... Turning your girlfriend into a stock trader?
Yeah. She has no idea what she's doing.
Yeah, that is definitely upsetting, Liam. I am very sorry to hear about that. Hopefully it gets sorted out soon and you have your new clubs in hand before too long. But yeah, I think we can all, you know, that feeling resonates, right? That excitement you have, you know, a big purchase is supposed to come. And then if it doesn't show up on time or something goes wrong with the delivery, it's just that, you know, the disappointment, right? It's hard to manage your expectations and say, yeah, you know, these things happen and it'll probably all work out in the end just fine. But man, in that moment, it can be super disappointing. That's a good attitude, Liam. Yeah, it's all going to work out. Been doing a lot of these kind of one-handed drills, just trying to support this club with the right hand. Turn. Try to keep that angle in the spine. Boom. Once you figure it out, it's really, I mean, it's only my third day really doing this drill. And once you figure out how to do it, you can make some really quality strikes on the ball. Deliver some good speed into that ball. Thanks, Don. We on it for sure. Oh boy, that sounds intense. Good luck, Liam. Keep that spine angle intact. The war against early extension rages on. Liam says, I've got that clutch gene though, so it'll be fine. I agree with that, if you believe in yourself. Ever thought about creating a tournament you host or some sort of giveaway? Winner receives a round of golf with you on the stream. As long as they check out, of course. I have not thought about that, Jake. That is an interesting idea. We have done a giveaway on the channel. We gave away a golf club. That was pretty cool. Sent that to New Jersey, of all places. I don't know, Jake. Is that the kind of thing you think that people would be interested in? You should tattoo a golf glove on your left hand. That's an interesting idea. Explain early extension. Good question, Sycamore. So, for a lot of people, myself included, a lot of times when we're, you know, trying to swing this club and hit the ball, what'll end up happening is, we're throwing this club with the right hand, right? And what happens is you come out of your posture, this right hip is going to get closer to the ball to hit the ball, right? With that throw, you have to, otherwise, if you stayed in your posture and you threw it, you'd hit the ground like way back here, right? So you kind of have to stand up and get closer to the ball in order to get the club head on the ball, right? So it's that early, that it's called early extension because you're coming up and extending too soon, right? Hey, Sensum sent us a $10 donation. Thanks, Sensum. Appreciate you very much. So to combat that, what I'm working on is, trying to take the right hand out to some extent, right? Practicing that rotation with this drill. But also, you can just do a lot of slow motion reps and really just try to feel, right, staying in your posture, right? What really clicked for me recently was trying to feel like that left rib cage is really just rotating kind of up and around my spine, right? It's not sliding forward or getting closer to the ball. It's just rotating, right? The same way my shoulders rotate in the backswing. I just kind of stay in that angle. And these are, that's really the purpose of a lot of these drills I've been doing. This one, we've been doing the hit and stop drill quite a bit. Tournament or a fundraiser would be a great idea. Liam said W. Thanks, Liam. All right, Donnie, we're gonna give you one more chance to be a little more positive in the chat. And then we're gonna have to take a timeout. I don't think we have any mods on today. The good news is with this different setup, I can see you guys very clearly. I don't have to look. Before we had the laptop set up in a different orientation. Still thinking about Sensum's very nice donation. That's super cool. Everybody give him a thumbs up and a heart for that. Congrats on the 1 million views. Amazing. I know, that is crazy, guys. When I opened that up and it said 1 million views in 28 days, I think it's up to 1.1 million views in the last 28 days. That's pretty crazy. I've had some potential sponsors start reaching out, you know. It's been like almost 100 new subscribers a day for quite a while, you know, last week or so. So yeah, it's happening, guys. We're doing the thing. And it's all thanks to you guys, right? Can't thank you enough for all the support. Everybody, you know, engaging with the videos, the shorts, checking out the live streams. You know, seriously could not do it without you guys, so I'm very grateful. Feels very different to the release I was doing before. But I think that's a good thing. I think it was just getting really flippy at the bottom, and we're working hard to take some of that out. Steve is here. Jake is still here. Fox FMX is here. I remember you. What's up, Fox? Bum bum be dum bum bum. Gonna do some of these band drills. Ooh, great question, Liam. Favorite country in terms of golf courses? U64.0 the whole process. I don't know what that means. Tell me more, Sally. Excluding USA. I would probably have to say Ireland. I think just from the you know, the combination of volume and history. Hopefully you'd let me pick like the entire UK. And you know, include some of the Scottish and English courses as well. But that would probably be my answer. TT Pig Fan said, I love your lives. Thanks so much. I appreciate your support. Best golf is in Florida. Do you think it's worth getting fitted for new irons as a 10 handicap? I think it depends, Steve, on how much golf you play, how much you are, you know, going to invest in your game. If you're, you know, really into golf and you think it's going to be a main, you know, hobby of yours into the future, then I think certainly a 10 handicap is definitely a skill level where you would benefit from doing a fitting. You know, if you're a 10, that means you've developed some consistent ball striking. So there could certainly be some value in a fitting. Not only that, it's the, you know, the confidence, right? To know that I've done the work, I got the fitting. I just don't have to wonder, right? If you tried all the different, you know, clubs and shafts. Nice swing. You can do much more than I can. I can only hit 122 yards. Well, that's okay. Just keep working at it, and someday it'll be 123. So this is a really good drill, guys. Use a band or a towel just under the arms. Try not to let that drop. Hidden gem region for golf, in my opinion, would be New Zealand. Some lovely environments down there. I believe it. I've not been to that part of the world yet. Actually, guys, Australia is my last continent. I've been to 6 out of 7 continents. Just got to get to Australia, and I'd love to do New Zealand on that same trip, ideally, as well. All right, so I'm going to grab like a 9-iron. Oh, apart from Ireland or Britain. Whoa. Make friends, excuse me, with an employee at a golf store. You get any clubs or drivers. That's an interesting idea, Don. Hopefully, you know, just get a little discount. That's always nice. you've made some changes recently. When you're having an off day, what is your current miss shot shape? Good question, Sensum. Because I've been trying to, incorporate more of this rotational release, right, where I'm not, really throwing that club. Sometimes when I get stuck in between, right, and I do end up throwing it a little bit, because of where, I've already been rotating, right, I've been hitting a few kind of these like low toey hooks with my irons. That's been the miss that I've noticed, but those are becoming pretty few and far between, frankly. I think I really credit all the work we've done, in here, on the live streams, hitting into the net with you guys. It has really made a big difference in the quality of my ball striking. It's just about reps, right? We're getting the center of the club face on the ball over and over and over again. Ever been to the driving range? How far can you hit it? I have been to the driving range many, many, many times. On average these days, we were doing speed training last night. I was hitting it, between like 285 and 300 off the tee with the driver. So that's in the kind of like mid 160s ball speed generally. Liam says, fellow got a lab for like 250. Oh, that's a great deal. That is really quality friendship right there. Let's see how that last swing looked. It is pretty cool being able to use this as a little replay type device. Got my friend here doing some camera work behind the scenes, which is pretty cool. I've never had a cameraman doing stuff, so we'll see if we get some cool shots out of it. I'm sure we will. Can't we all just get along? My wife and I were watching Shrek last night. That's just a classic, really holds up. Coming out of the posture just slightly. Can feel that last swing there. My first time playing golf, I got 121 yards. That's awesome, Pig Fan. We all start our journey somewhere. Also, guys, unexpectedly, miniature heat wave coming through the east coast of the U.S. So we are working hard. 306 viewers in the stream. Give yourselves a like. Double tap the screen for 300 viewers. Fox says, do you recommend any AI swing apps for swing correction? I have never tried one of those apps, so I would be reticent to give you a recommendation without having tried it myself. But I do think I've seen one. I've seen the ads for that Swing Box or Sports Box one, right, where it makes like a 3D image of your swing, and then it gives you kind of, grades based on the positions of various, angles and wrist angles and things. Who's winning the Ryder Cup? The Euros are going to win the Ryder Cup, Liam. I am biased. I would, probably like to see my home country win. However, you look at the lineups, just look at the Ryder Cup lineups, guys. I mean, how do you not pick the European team? Maybe the answer is it's an away Ryder Cup and it's at Bethpage and the crowd's going to be crazy. But I don't know, guys. They are really stacked. I am super excited for this Ryder Cup, though, guys. It is going to be quite the spectacle. All those crazy American fans at Bethpage. Just absolute mayhem is what I'm imagining. I just feel like the Europeans, they seem to care more. They seem really like, you watch Justin Rose on Instagram, guys, and he's like working out, you know, weeks and weeks in advance, and he's like, it's all for the Ryder Cup. It's all for the Ryder Cup. These guys are just like diehards, you know. And then I listened to JT talking before the Pro Tour, right? They all went and played in San Francisco or Napa to try and, you know, stay loose. And he's like, yeah, you know, we usually get them off this time of year, but, you know, we're just going to play and get ready for the Ryder Cup. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I just feel like maybe it means more to them over there. That's the new move. That's what we like to see, guys. Pig Fan says, I met Tiger Woods. Tell me about that. That sounds really cool. I've never met the GOAT. Yeah, that release looks a lot better. How did you meet Tiger Woods? What was that like? I feel like I would just have so many questions, like, you know, what was it like winning all 4 majors at the same time? I mean, like, how fun is golf when you just know you're going to shoot 66 every day? I just, like, it would be so fun. It would be so fun to show up to the golf course and be like, I'm either going to shoot 63 or 4 or 68 if I play bad. Like, man. Canada beating New Zealand. Are Canada and New Zealand playing? I was on the same golf course as him. It was amazing. Oh, that sounds cool. I've seen him play in some PGA Tour events where I was fortunate enough to attend. But I would also tell you guys, I think watching golf is better on TV. If you want to really follow a tournament and know what's going on and who might win and what the different holes look like, it's much easier. Much easier at home on TV. I love the video where Tiger outdrives the dude on his knees. Yeah, that's Riggs from Barstool. The guy who's always getting clowned on because he says he's a 4 handicap. And my favorite comment on one of the Riggs videos was, it looks like an octopus falling off a shelf when he tries to swing. And again, I don't really get it. Like, it's okay to be an 8 or 10 handicap. Like, just be honest about the golf you play. And I think people would be fine with it. But wow, still thinking about Sensum with a very nice donation. That's super cool. It's really helping take a lot of the steepness or the over the top out. Right, when I watch it back on the camera. Right, it's not this way. It's more just letting the club turn. Bum bum be dum bum bum. Hey John, have you ever tried an indoor golf simulator? I have, guys. If you look back when I first started the channel, we posted a lot of videos since then, so you'd have to scroll way down. But there was a whole bunch of indoor simulator content because I started and I was like, you know what? This is the stuff I'm working on in my game. It's the winter. There's snow on the ground. you know, I could wait for the golf season, but why not? Why not just start, you know, filming some stuff, learning how to make videos? So I've done a pretty good amount indoor simulator work. Love the access to TrackMan to be able to get some data, you know, get a good sense for how far the ball would be flying through the air. I've used it for speed training where you can get, you know, ball speed data and really try to push the speed. Jake says, outside of golf, what other sports do you enjoy? I am a huge fan of the NFL, and to a, you know, a lesser extent college football. I just love watching football. I think it is, you know, one of the best. I think hockey, the NHL, is the best sport to watch live. But man, I just love Sunday, 1 o'clock rolls around. You're like, I know where I need to be. I got to be on my couch watching Red Zone. You know, modern day gladiators slamming into each other at high speed. It is pretty wild when you're like, man, I just watched that guy's whole knee explode. He might never walk again. Anyway, let's scrape him off the field. It's 3rd and 6. Pigfan says I was an actor in Happy. And Happy Gilmore, that's very cool. I've never been in a movie or TV show. I've never done anything like that. Did you hear about the guy who lost a match in the U.S. Mid-Am because his caddy took a cart ride to the second hole? I did hear about that, and his competitor was like, guys, come on, this is ridiculous. Like, we just got to keep playing this match. I don't want to win this one. And they're like, yeah, sucks to suck. You just, you know, the match is over. Yeah, really crazy. On the one hand, I'm like, you know, I guess it's your job to know the rules, but on the other hand, can we just use common sense and be like, did anybody get an advantage? Like, seems a little bit silly to me. KB, what's in the bag for wedges? We've got Vokey wedges all the way through. We go 60, 56, 52, 46 with the Vokey wedges. I think mine are a little bit old at this point. They're like SM8s. But I'm a big fan of the Vokey shape and styling. Right, this 60 degree is what I use for probably 95% of my shots around the green. This is a M grind, 8 degrees of bounce. I like this bounce, or this grind, because it's got a good amount of both heel and toe relief. So you can keep that leading edge low, you know, with the face closed, right, and really get it up on the toe to hit some low ones, which I like doing. Or, you know, you can, again, really open the face with that heel relief, keep that leading edge down, you know, and hit some big flop shots like you've seen us do on the channel. So good to have some versatility. The pitching wedge and the gap wedge are F grinds. Those are more, you know, full swing type clubs. My driver is a TaylorMade QI10 Max on an Oban Kiyoshi purple shaft. The shaft is 65 grams X-Flex. It's also purple, guys, which is pretty cool, I think. This is the driver. And I did a bunch of testing at the start of the year comparing this one to the core head just to see what the, you know, ball speed and spin looked like. This had a little bit lower ball speed, mostly because it's a shorter hosel. So it'll play half an inch shorter than the core head. So a little bit, you know, slightly lower club head speed and ball speed, but the spin was totally fine. You know, much more forgiving on off-center strikes. Steelers Vikings in Dublin next Sunday. Yeah, I'm stoked for that. I was just in Dublin, really cool city. Here we go. All right, so now, guys, we're going to hit 5 balls in a row here. We're going to do the hit and stop drill, where I'm going to swing, you know, full spin, full swing, full speed, and try to stop this club as quickly as possible post impact. Right? Ideally, you know, we'd have that club kind of around waist if we do a good job. Has anyone used lead tape on their driver considering it? I haven't. I've used lead tape on a 3-wood way back in the day, but never on a driver. But I wouldn't scare you away from it. I think it's a pretty tried and true technique. Can you use your driver? Well, we've got the laptop setup in the way currently. And the only problem is, the one thing I would tell you if you're building a setup like this, make sure that your, the highest point of your swing overlaps with the highest point of the tent. Otherwise, you might end up with a little hole in one side because you hit the top of your tent. Don't ask me how I know. All right, so 5 in a row, guys. We're gonna do this hit and stop drill. This, again, is really working on trying to keep that hip in, right? We're trying not to go this way and extend. We're trying to maintain our spine angle. Ping G400 does the job for me. That's a good one too, Liam. All right, hit and stop. Nice, that was pretty well executed, I would say. We're still trying to maintain a good strike. Keep that club face square, but again, acceleration, by trying to stop that club as fast as you can, it's going to make it much harder to early extend. Dawn said, it's a dope setup. I wish I had one just like it. Yeah, well, there is a video on the channel, guys. If you're interested in building an at-home setup for yourself, go check that video out. Nice. So the difference I can really feel, guys, is this hip just feels to me like it just stays closer, right? So much more rotation that way as opposed to that kind of standing up and extending. Nice. If you guys are enjoying the stream, drop a like. Coming up on 40 likes on the stream. Very cool, guys. Last night, I think we had over 120 likes on the stream. Really blew me away by how much support we had yesterday. So we're going to try and keep that going today. Nice. That was a pretty good rep there. All right, one more. Hey, Paul Cummins is here. What's up, Paul? Gosh, guys, headed towards 50 likes on the stream now. See, you just gotta remind people, hey, you can double tap that screen. Nice. That one felt like the face was a tiny bit shut maybe, but pretty good execution on the hit and stop. Nice hit. Hi from Japan. Very cool. We've got some folks in from Japan on the stream. That is one of my favorite parts about doing this, guys, getting to meet and interact with people from truly all over the globe. We've had, no penguins from Antarctica, but I think every single continent we've had people tune in from. All over South America and Africa and Asia. So now, guys, last 5 balls, we're just going to do some slow speed, really exaggerating the feels. Right, where we're maintaining that angle. Don says, you got a nice stream, brother. Thanks very much, Don. I appreciate you saying that. We are still just a few months into doing this. I'm certainly no expert. Just trying to learn every day and take the feedback that people share. I'm always trying to get better. Hopefully make this a continuously, educational, motivational, entertaining type of thing. Platform said hi. What's up, Platform Jay? The honest answer, Don, is I had no idea what I was doing when I first started doing this. I just said, this seems interesting and could be fun. Let me try it and figure it out. And that's, a big part of the message that I try to put out with my content is, if you have a goal, if you have something that's interesting to you, it could be golf, it could be something else. It could be, completely unrelated to sports. But if you have a dream, if you have a goal, the hardest part about pursuing it is just getting started, right? You just have to start making steps towards it, you know, putting in some work, making progress, and just, you know, make a small amount of progress over a long enough period of time, and you'll get where you want to go. Trying to keep that right heel down longer. I see what you're saying, Paul, to try and not extend quite so much, right? And just more kind of bank this way. I saw somebody doing a drill where they were practicing this feel, right, by just putting a golf ball under their right foot on the outside of it, right? And they're really trying to just feel that weight stay, you know, kind of banked and planted there. My Japanese name is Ryamu. Very cool. That was hit really nice. Tell you what, guys, we are gonna have to battle to stay hydrated out here today. It is spicy, spicy. How's life in Scotland, Paul? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you guys all, you know, continuing to show up on the stream, hang out, share some knowledge. Just trying to see how far I can actually rotate while keeping that heel down. The answer is it's not as far as I would maybe like it to be, right? You know, definitely some restriction in my hips there, but that's okay. It's good to identify these things. Hey, Liam, thanks for being here. I appreciate you checking out the stream. We'll see you on the next one. Let's see how that one looked. That felt like a good rep. Yeah, much better. See how the arms are just starting to drop a bit more? It's not getting steep and extending this way, right? It's just by fixing the release. Just everything seems to sequence. Right, it's almost like I can feel that shallowing happening much more naturally. "46 likes on the stream, guys. Let's see if we can get to 50. Nice to get one back up to full speed and hit it solidly. Not feel quite as flat-footed. Love that. You know what we should do? We should grab a slightly longer club. I'll grab like a 7-iron. That's where you want to aim it, guys. You want to aim to hit it right there. Wow, it feels so different, but when you feel the strike, just the compression being so much better. As you can see, guys, super important when you're working on these kinds of changes to do it at a slow speed. Really try to ingrain the motor pattern, exaggerate the feels of what you're working on. There we go, guys. There we go. 49. Almost to 50 likes on the stream. Really happy with how that looks. A little bit, you know, flat-footed. Kind of coming up on that toe. Thanks, Don. I appreciate you saying that. That was better, trying to keep that heel down. But again, guys, I would not be able to be working on this stuff at full speed and, you know, changing the way that I'm trying to release the club, all this stuff. So you've got to break it down to, you know, smaller, more manageable pieces. All right, guys, we're gonna hit a few more balls and then call it for today. It is just really swampy out here. Gotten a lot of good work done. Oh yeah, you hear that? You guys hear that sound? That's the sound we're looking for. Whew. All down to impact. I totally agree, Paul. That is what we're trying to perfect. Right, you can preset that position. You know, really force yourself to feel, right, where do I want to get to at impact? And then makes it that much easier to return to that position. Really, you're trying to teach your body how to adjust and move and react to that golf ball. Sounding great. Yeah, it is sounding great. I agree. It's really just, you know, I'm trying to take that flip out we're just really delivering such a more powerful strike on the ball, I think, as opposed to really just hoping that we were, you know, getting it right with the throw like this, right? And now we're just turning, delivering that club. It's just, it feels nice, it sounds nice. Right, as you can see, we are continuing to wear out the center of the club face. I don't know, what do you guys think? I had somebody recently in my comments telling me that these were ready to be hung up on the wall, and I was like, guy, I don't know what to tell you, but these are, you know, just a little bit of browning. These have tons of life left in them. The grooves are still decent. Would you guys still play these irons? I've been really enjoying having them back in the bag after a bit of a hiatus. What irons do you have, Vinny? These are the TaylorMade Tour Preferred MB irons. These came out in 2011. Played these back in college. Played them for a long time. And then I tried something new recently for the first half of this season, and then said, you know what, that's not the answer. Let's go back to what we know. Put these blades back in the bag, rebuilt them with these cool green and yellow ferrules that you guys have seen. They're a little flashy for me, but they caught my eye when I was looking around at what was out there, and it came out really nice. They're a little bit unusual for a blade, right, with this weight port in the back, but other than that, I mean, just the shape of it, I love the narrow sole. To me, I just, you know, looking down at a blade behind the ball is what I want to see. Now, does it cost me a shot or two every few rounds, maybe? Yeah, probably. You know, if I had something more forgiving, maybe the slight toe or heel strike would carry that front bunker instead of landing in it. I'm not sure I care. I really, really like the feel. You know, there's something about hitting a blade that just forces you to pay attention to the strike. And when you hit it good, it sounds just like that. Ooh. I think that's probably a good swing to end on, guys. Coming up here on the top of the hour. One more chance. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Drop a like on the stream for me. Hit those notifications so you'll find out when we're going live next or when new content comes out. Which, stay tuned. There'll be lots of cool stuff coming soon. 52 likes, 222 viewers at the moment. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate you all being here. We will see you next time.